December 2020 is a very special month for this year, and that's because that's the official planned release date for the brand new Halo Infinite game, the next game in the very popular Halo franchise. And in this episode of Nuke 101 Talks, I'll be talking about what I want from this game and what I don't want from this game. And at the end of the episode, I'll be rating on a 1 to 10 nut scale how hyped I am for this. But first off, if you guys like this video, hit that like button, leave a comment, and hit subscribe. So, on November 15th, 2001, Halo Combat Evolved first released. And this game took the gaming world by storm. It was very popular. It had Master Chief as a really awesome sort of space marine character that people instantly fell in love with. I mean, the game was just fantastic all around. It had a great storyline too. Nobody knew what was going on at first. You know, you're in the spaceship flying away from some planet they called Reach. Then you just wake up and start fighting aliens. You land on like this giant ring, and then you find out there's zombies there. And it was just a weird game, but it was fun and fantastic. Then Halo 2 came out, and that a lot of people regard as their best or their favorite Halo game of all time was Halo 2. And it was awesome. I mean, brand new guns, new enemies. The story was awesome with fantastic characters. And then Halo 3 came out. That was amazing as well. Fantastic. And then we had some couple other great games like Halo 3 ODST, which didn't really follow Master Chief, actually. It left off like mid Halo 2 storyline and kind of branched off. It was sort of like a separate game all on its own, but it was very interesting. Then Halo Reach came out. That sort of happened. That happened before before Halo Combat Evolved chronologically, just right before the event of that game, where you're fighting on the planet Reach, and you're playing as this awesome Spartan called Noble Six, and you can customize his armor however you want. I mean, that game was fantastic. My favorite Halo game, in my opinion. Then Halo 4. A lot of people didn't like Halo 4. It was uh, one of the first Halo games, at least the ones that followed Master Chief, not to include the Flood. Now, the Flood were the zombie characters I was talking about. They were in Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, and Halo 3. They were a huge part of the story. They had excellent gameplay mechanics. There are a lot of variety of flood types in these games. I mean, it was awesome. But Halo 4 didn't include them. They had some mentions to them. But instead of having the flood, they introduced a new enemy called the Forerunners. They were pretty cool, but not a lot of people liked them, and at least not as much as they did the flood, because flood is still amazing. And then Halo 5. And Halo 5 was just not that great. Uh, the story was all out of whack. It wasn't really that great. Gameplay, it was sort of fun. It had the first Halo game. Well, it was the first Halo game to expand upon booster mechanics, right? You press a button and then you can boost forward, backwards, left, or right. They had that in Halo Reach, except you could only boost forward. However, in Halo 5, you could boost in all four directions. Then they had some sort of ground slam ability. And one fan favorite game mode of the Halo games. This was only in a couple Halo games. I know it was in one of the Halo 3 games. I can't remember if it was just Halo 3 or 3 ODST, but it was a big part in Halo Reach. It was a really fun mode called Firefight, right? You could go in solo and just fight waves of enemies, or you could have a friend come in, have up to a squad of 4, and you can fight off these waves of enemies, and it was really fun. They got rid of it in Halo 4. Was kind of sad because that would be pretty cool. They sort of added it into a Halo 4, except more of a story aspect, and sort of just instead of just waves coming at you, this one they called, I can't remember what the game mode was, but it was sort of a separate storyline taking place from the view of another separate fire team of Guardians. It was really weird, but Anyway, they really got rid of Firefight. It wasn't the same as Firefight, and Halo 5 tried to bring Firefight back again, and it was pretty fun. Actually, I quite liked the Firefight game mode in Halo 5 because not only did it include all the enemies from the campaign of that game, but also brought in brand new enemies that people haven't ever seen before. Like there is this grunt mech sort of thing. It was like a mini boss, and that was pretty fun to fight against. I sort of liked the firefight in Halo 5. That was about it. A lot of things I didn't like about Halo 5, and what I don't want them to include in Halo Infinite is the gun customizations, because how it works is, so you say you have your standard battle rifle, right? Your 3-round burst rifle. It's iconic to Halo, but in Halo 5, there were different variants of it, that meaning different sights, different camos. Uh, but the thing is the only way you can unlock these sights is through these packs that you would unlock either by just playing the game a bunch of times or purchasing it for money. And the thing is, this would give certain players some advantage because obviously everybody has different preferences. Like not everybody uses the same site because not everybody's comfortable with a certain site. You know, they may be comfortable with another site and they may outperform a lot of other people with that site. And really, the only way to get these other customizations with the sites was through these packs that you can buy with real world currency. And that's what I don't want Halo Infinite to have. What I want Halo Infinite to have is a gun customization system similar to Titanfall 2, actually. I quite like the way they had it, just simple customization with a few sights, a few maybe traits, right? Faster reload, or better mobility, faster aim down sight speeds, some simple like that. I don't really want it to have a gun customization system that was as in depth as Modern Warfare. I think Modern Warfare has probably the most in depth gun customization system out of any Xbox game. And I don't really want Halo Infinite to have that. When I look at Halo games, I don't really see them as having much customization in guns. Like, I'm not really a big fan of that. Um, I just wish that they would stick to some of the core guns, bring in maybe a couple new ones, right? But just a couple, yeah, and nothing too fancy, nothing overpowered. Going back to these packs, I don't want that. I don't really want them to be in Halo Infinite at all. In Halo 5, some of these packs would include vehicles, right? So you could have this really overpowered Warthog with the Gauss cannon on it that would just one-shot everybody, and not everybody would have access to that, because either you would have to buy one of these packs or just hope one of your teammates has like one of these packs and they spawn it in for you, and then you might get a chance to actually ride in this thing. I don't want these packs to be in it. I think these microtransactions just won't be good for the game at all. I was really disappointed with the armor customization in Halo 5. And what I want in Halo Infinite is more of a either Halo Reach type of armor customization or Halo 4 type. So here's the thing. In Halo 4, you could unlock certain armors through challenges, right? Like one in one of my past videos, I mentioned how in Halo 4, you could unlock my favorite type of armor in any of the Halo games, the Wetworks armor, through doing certain types of challenges. It would take you a while, but that's what kept bringing you back to the game, right? Is through these challenges, so that way you may get like this really cool armor. Like that's sort of what I want. If they, I wouldn't also mind if they were to implement a sort of Halo Reach type of method, in which you have like this level system. So every certain level, every level you would get some new sort of customization, some sort of new shoulder pad or chest piece or knee pads or whatever, or helmet. I feel like that was cool. But I would more prefer some of the challenges, because then I can be like, all right, I want that armor. I want to grind towards that, and I know for sure I will get this armor, instead of like Halo Reach, right, where you might want a certain type of helmet, but it could be like only unlockable at a really high level. Like I would rather prefer the Halo 4 system, but if they were bringing the Halo Reach system, I wouldn't mind that at all. Either way, it just keeps microtransactions out of the game. I actually like Master Chief's new armor design. I think it's bringing it like a callback to Halo 3, but a bit more modernized. Back when Halo 4 came out, I know there was a bit of debate on whether Master Chief's new armor design was actually good or not, but I actually quite liked it. I thought it was pretty cool, really modernized. Be like, wow, that's something that could exist today. I actually quite liked it, but the way that Halo Infinite is going with their armor design, I think that's awesome. With some of the enemies, I like how they're bringing brutes back. I want them to add in the flood back for in some sort of way, right? I know that Halo Infinite is going to take place on a Halo ring, like we've seen that from the trailers, and that would be pretty awesome if they were to incorporate the flood, because that's really where the flood are on these Halo rings. So that'd be awesome. I want them to bring back some of the old flood combat types, right? With the regular foot soldiers, the tanks, the little guys that crawled into the ground and shot spikes at you that were really terrifying. Those guys were pretty awesome. And so, in general, I I'm really looking forward to this game. I've been a long fan of the Halo series. Halo 4 was my first ever first-person shooter game. First ever game I played on the Xbox 360. I thought it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it, and that's what got me into these other Halo games, playing Halo 3 and Halo Reach. I thought that was awesome. And so now, in these commentary videos where I also am talking about games, I'm gonna rate these games on a 1 to 10 nut scale of how nutty these games are going to be, in my opinion. And for Halo Infinite, I'm going to rate this one 8.7. And 8.7 because I just love the franchise Halo. I'm going to play it no matter what, if it's bad or if it's good. Uh, but, with the direction that Halo 5 Guardians went, I don't want them to make that same mistake. But, I'm really excited to see how this turns out. I hope they learn from their mistakes. I hope they listen to the player base and saying how, what they disliked about Halo 5. But overall, I'm really excited for this game and excited to see, how this turns out. So thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys later. Peace.